All right. Hi everyone. The chair is calling the session of the General Assembly to order on the 5th of August at 4:07 UTC+8 in Taipei, Taiwan. Hi everyone. Our General Assembly officially started. So, I welcome you all to our 74th IBSA Congress General Assembly. We're gonna follow the agenda. All of you received the agenda via email by our Secretary General in advance of the event. And yeah, we're gonna start with the first point, which is introduction to IBSA. Presented by me, the President. Hi. All right, everyone. Felix Metzger, IBSA hi, everyone. I'm going to start with the IBSA presentation because, yeah, I mean, you all know IBSA because you're obviously part of it. However, there are still a lot of you who don't know everything about all the opportunities, so we're just going to repeat it, especially given that a lot of first years here as well. So, yeah, we want you to get in touch with what we actually do. So, what is IBSA? We are the International Veterinary Students Association. We were established in 1953 in Gießen in Germany, and we're the largest veterinary students association, a non-profit, non-governmental organization run by volunteer veterinary students from around the world, as you can obviously see. Our mission statement: our aim is to benefit the animals and people of the world by harnessing the potential and education of veterinary students to promote the international application of veterinary skills, education, and knowledge. Our structure: we have more than 25,000 members in more than 190 universities in around about 85 different countries worldwide, and we are still counting. Each member belongs to a national member organization, MO, and some national member organizations, MO, consists of several local chapters. These are our IBSA officials for the current term, so for around about 4 more weeks, which is a strange feeling. At this point, I just want to quickly say thanks to all the officials that are here, but also that are not here. All of them have been doing their best to maintain the association as it is, and on top of that, improve it as much as they can. So I'm really thankful for all of you, and during the event, you will see what they have done. So what does IBSA do? For example, exchange programs and individual and group exchanges. We have our committees and networks, the development fund, congress and symposia, collaborations and partnerships, local events, and publications. So how does an IBSA exchange look? Each year, IBSA exchange officers can organize a group exchange with other IBSA member organizations. That will help you find out the accommodation and places to travel. What is a group exchange? 2 groups of students from 2 different MOs. They have 2 trips with itinerary set for each exchange group and a lot of options to learn and get fun. For example, IBSA South Africa and IBSA Indonesia. The itineraries will be made for the first round. Students from Indonesia plan a trip for students who will be visiting from South Africa. And round 2, students from South Africa plan a trip for the students who will be visiting from Indonesia. Our standing committees and networks. Starting with veterinary education. The Standing Committee on Veterinary Education encompasses the core teaching and learning in classrooms and all factors affecting directly or indirectly, such as quality of study materials available, curriculum pattern, and so on. The Standing Committee on Veterinary Education, SCOVI, has been established to improve the education of all veterinary students and professionals worldwide by providing varied educational resources, coming up with new and interesting ways of teaching and learning. SCOVI aims at elevating the overall standard of veterinary education worldwide and to provide opportunities for veterinary students to undertake education in important areas outside traditional veterinary training. Standing Committee on One Health. The role of the Standing Committee on One Health, SCO, is twofold: One Health and veterinary public health. The committee aims to promote the importance of One Health and interdisciplinary collaboration between vets and other One Health-related scientists, as well as awareness of the role of veterinary public health. SCO is important for IVSA and its members as it broadens the collaborations of vets, spreads knowledge of veterinary public health, provides opportunities in the sector, and promotes activity of the members within local and global projects. Standing Committee on Career Attributes. The Standing Committee on Career Attributes, SCOCA, was founded in July 2019 to work toward improving the professionalism and soft skills of IVSA members around the world and provide structure to the previously established IVSA Trainers Network. SCOCA aims to complement veterinary education with opportunities to improve career attributes to allow for a successful future career in veterinary medicine for all veterinary students around the world. Standing Committee on Animal Welfare. The IVSA Standing Committee on Animal Welfare, SCO, intends to address one of the IVSA's main objectives, to actively support measures of improving the standard of animal welfare worldwide. SCO aims to engage veterinary students on an international scale to increase levels of awareness and education about animal welfare and work towards creating a world in which animal welfare is maintained to the highest standards and animals and humans can live in harmony, whilst also preserving the environment. The Standing Committee on Wellness. Wellness is the quality of state of being healthy in body and mind, which can also be perceived as an approach to healthcare that emphasizes preventing illness and prolonging life. Mental health problems are seen more and more commonly throughout the veterinary community with each passing year. Seeing that this problem is very real, several students at the International Veterinary Students Association created the Standing Committee on Wellness, SCO. This committee is devoted, as its name suggests, into improving the wellness of the people in the veterinary profession and aims to promote the self-improvement of mental and physical health in the veterinary society, including veterinary professionalism, including veterinary professionals and students alike. The Alumni Network. IVSA Alumni Network is just that, a network of IVSA members. It's just that, a network of IVSA members who have since graduated. Many say that their IVSA years were some of the best of their life, but the journey doesn't have to end when you graduate. The IVSA Alumni Network was founded in 2015 and is here to help support young vets on their onward journey by bringing and keeping the community together. Our alumni network is also of great value to the association, giving back to the community that has cultured so many memories in further education by aiding current students. The Wild and Exotics Network. The IVSA Wild and Exotics Network creates a space for IVSA veterinary students and alumni members to explore the vast spectrum of wild and exotic animals, wild and exotic animal medicine and surgery, with the aim to allow members to interact with each other while expanding their knowledge. Pathology Network. The IVSA Pathology Network creates a space for IVSA veterinary students and alumni members to explore the vast spectrum of pathology, with the aim to allow members to interact with each other while expanding their knowledge as well. And in here is still the Equi Network. One last time, the Equi Network was used to create a space for all IVSA veterinary students interested in equine medicine. However, during the last Congress last year in Peru, it got dissolved, so it's no longer existing. So, after the committees and networks, I just want to quickly say, please remember to always check out their opportunities, follow them on all social media channels, because you can get really involved with them and learn a lot, so please do that. Next topic is the Development Fund. We have several topics regarding the Development Fund, and we're going to explore them all a bit more now. Scholarship grants. Each year, the Development Fund releases applications for any IVSA member to stand a chance of winning money to fund their veterinary-related internships. The past year, there was 3 €1,000 scholarships in total. The application includes a motivational letter, 2 recommendation letters, 1 being compulsory from your dean, stating that this is an approved internship by your university, as well as a draft budget to show us how the money will be well spent. Keep up to date with the DAD social media pages and your bulletin for more information and more specific guidelines. The Be Kind Award. The Be Kind Award is an opportunity for IVSA MOs to do fundraising activities generating money for the Development Fund. This opportunity will help build a stronger IVSA community by promoting kindness and compassion. For raising funds, MOs will not only help other IVSA members by improving their situation, but also earn points to be the winner of the Be Kind Award. All the MOs participating will receive certificates of appreciation, but only one winner will be selected and will receive a special prize. Reduced fee spots. Every IBSA Congress and Symposium, there's the opportunity to receive one of two reduced fee spot places from the Development Fund to help get you to these amazing global events and more involved. Applying for these is simple. When you are filling out the event application form, please tick and fill in the extra part of the application to be considered for one of these places. I mean, like for this event, it's done, but right, for the next event, remind your colleagues when they are applying. IBSA merchandise. The Development Fund is one of the main ways for the IBSA to achieve its mission. Its main goal is to help underprivileged faculties worldwide by assisting many students in improving their education, their health, and welfare of the animals they care for, and the people who rely upon them. Purchasing IBSA merchandise is a way for IBSA delegates to contribute towards raising funds for the Development Fund. Yeah. IBSA merchandise is sold during the IBSA Symposium Congresses and consists of hoodies, t-shirts, scrubs, notebooks, etc. This year, pre-ordering IBSA merchandise before the Congress was possible for hoodies, t-shirts, and other traditional products. So remember, always check out on the messages in the WhatsApp group of the DAD team when you can collect your items, and if there are some leftover items, you can buy. Membership Fee Fund. The Membership Fee Fund is an opportunity for both new and existing MOs who are responsible for paying their fees to IBSA Global to apply for funding to cover the next term of membership fees. It is encouraged that any MO which is struggling to cover membership fees apply for this funding opportunity. The applications for this year's fees were open during the previous term. Regarding this term, the applications for next year's fees will be open in the second half. DAD Live and Silent Auction, something you will see during the event. The Live and Silent auction are held at every IBSA Congress and Symposium. During these evenings, delegates from all over the world donate items from their own country for the Live and Silent Auction. During the silent auction, all the items donated by delegates attending the Symposium or Congress will be displayed in one big room, in this case, the lobby of the hostel. If there's an item on the table that you would like to purchase, you can write your bidding number and price you are willing to pay on the bidding number paper for that specific item. The item will go to the highest bidder at the end of the silent auction. Silent auction items are usually smaller goods and gadgets. But don't worry, you will get another explanation when the silent auction is happening. Live auction. The live auction is a little bit different from the silent auction. At the live auction, the larger, more valuable items will be auctioned. You will collect the bidding plate with your personal bidding number at the beginning of the evening. All the live auction items will be auctioned one by one separately by an auctioneer in real time. Live auction items are usually bigger and more wanted. Donor box. On the website, you can find in the Development Fund's newest tool to collect donations. It allows us to have a donate button on the IBSA website letting us raise funds for the Development Fund by giving the members and MOs the option to pay via multiple platforms like Apple Pay, PayPal, Google Pay, etc., along with credit and debit cards, of course. The donors can also choose what project they would like to support, like reduced fee spots, DAD scholarships, or the membership fee fund. This is a nice picture of the Congress in Denmark. So let's talk about Congress and Symposium. We have a lot of activities: opening ceremony, general assembly, lectures, workshops, international stands, and cultural evening. So let's look at our past IBSA events. In 2024, we had the 72nd IBSA Symposium in Indonesia. Last summer, we had the 73rd IBSA Congress in Peru. This year in January, we had the 73rd IBSA Symposium in Morocco, SGA. And now we're having the 74th IBSA Congress, SGA, in Taiwan. So, besides that, we are also working very hard on our international collaborations and partnerships. For example, Karina Institute, our current diamond sponsor of IBSA, who is currently providing IBSA with 30,000 euros per year, and helping us a lot to maintain the association in the way we're currently doing it. Besides that, we also have Roy Cannon as a sponsor, SIVA as mentioned today in the opening ceremony, but also Karina Program, who's, for example, sponsoring the IBSA Europe. Here's some examples of our partners: ICAVA, BESAVA, WVA, WOA, EVE, Global Food Partners, and the Africa Public Health Student Network Initiative, European Commission, ABMA, who is no longer a partner, FVE, ECCTV, Every, SOA, IPSF, but you will hear more about all the partners in the president update. And here's some more. All right. Publications. Like IBSA is publishing some publications that we always vote on during our General Assemblies on our IBSA social media, in the journal and on the website. And if you want to know more about IBSA, you can always check out the website and all social media channels, of course. This is a friendly reminder, given that our IBSA Instagram account for the DAD, but also for IBSA Global, got deleted by Meta. Please, if you haven't done it, go to Instagram now. You have to honestly use your phone and follow the IBSA Global and IBSA DAD channel. Share it with your MOs. We want everyone to follow it. Like, share it with your family as well. Everyone should follow the IBSA account again. We need the followers back. So this was the old IBSA account. Is that Instagram account? The website, Twitter account, the IBSA journal. If you want to see the IBSA journal, I highly recommend you to scan the QR code now, because currently you can't find it on the website because our website provider is having some issues. So at the moment we cannot publish it there. However, we are working on it, and you will also hear more about it during the event. Wait a bit until everyone scanned it. Amazing. Like if someone did not scan it, a lot of people just share it with each other. So this is exactly the provider that is currently not working. And our IBSA website, as mentioned before. Also follow the IBSA MOD account on Instagram and social media, and also the specific regions, so Asia Pacific, Europe, MENA, Sub-Saharan Africa, and the Americas. There's a DAD account, also the old account, so please follow the new account. And join us now. All right, that's it. If you have any questions, you can always come to us, and thank you all. So, the next point of the agenda is 1.2, Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised presentation. So this is presented by Matteo Cannavale, and this presentation will provide you with all the information you will need for the General Assembly, so you know how to navigate around it. Sorry. Okay.
Hello everyone. Now I'm going to make a presentation regarding the Robert's Rules of Orders and the GA procedures. It's vital that you keep attention because we are going to explain how the GA works. Yes, that's true. Matteo Carnevale, IBSA alumni, meeting number 17. As I was saying, you should really pay attention to this presentation because these are all the rules and procedures that we're going to apply during this GA. So, first of all, what is a GA? The General Assembly is the supreme decision-making body of the IBSA and consists of delegates and observers present at its meeting. So, you guys. During the GA, delegates representing their national MOs discuss and make decisions that affect the IBSA's actions and policies. The GA is run according to the Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised. These rules create a professional, fair, and productive environment for discussion and decision-making. The GA should strive to adhere to these rules, but avoid excessive strictness and technicalities if that might undermine the overall success of the meeting. The GA elects the people that enforce the rules, called officials of the GA. These officials are, first of all, the chair. The chair is responsible for keeping the order of the GA, giving delegates the floor to speak, organizing the discussion, and announcing the voting results. At the beginning of the GA, the president of IBSA is ex officio the chair of the GA, but then the GA elects a new chair. The chair must always remain neutral. Therefore, they cannot vote, participate in discussions, or make motions. Then we have the parliamentarian. The parliamentarian ensures that the GA respects the ABC's constitution, the bylaws, and the Robert's Rules of Orders. They should strive to remain neutral. However, they maintain their right to vote, discuss, and make motions. So, unlike the chair. Then we have the election committee. It governs the ballot voting during the GA and consists of 3 people, of whom at least one must be a former or current member of the executive committee. Members of the election committee cannot nominate or be nominated in any elections. We have the secretary. Unless otherwise appointed by the ExCo, the Secretary General also serves as the Secretary of the General Assembly. They are responsible for the roll call at the start of each meeting, for coordinating roll call votes, and keeping minutes of the GA. Also, as you know, all of you have been assigned to a buddy. So buddies are experienced AVC member who understands the procedures and the rules of both AVC and the GA. They are responsible for guiding and supporting the delegates to ensure they understand the procedures and are well informed to shape their opinions. So how is the GA structured? First of all, let's distinguish between a meeting and a session of the GA. Each time that the GA gathers to discuss and make decisions without interrupting its proceedings, except for a short recess, it constitutes a meeting of the GA. A session of the GA consists of all the meetings that occur within a particular time frame, such as during a congress or a symposium. So right now we are in a meeting of the GA, and all the meetings that we will have during this congress constitute a session. The separate meetings of the GA are referred to based on their sequence as J1, J2, and so forth. So we're now in J1. Meeting can vary in length and purpose. A recess is a break in a meeting during which delegates can temporarily leave the meeting area. After a recess, the meeting is resumed exactly where it was interrupted. Standing at ease, on the other hand, involves a brief pause in a meeting during which delegates can engage in quiet conversation but cannot leave the meeting area. Please keep this in mind. During standing at ease, you are not allowed to leave the meeting area. Only during the recess. Delegates can request to stand at ease before voting to consult with other members of the same MO and with their buddy. A meeting is adjourned when it is declared to be officially over. When the last meeting of a session is concluded, the whole session is adjourned without a date, and the GA will not reconvene until the next Congress or symposium. During the GA, business is conducted following the order set in the agenda. Each topic listed on the agenda is called an agenda point. While the agenda dictates the sequence of business, it usually does not prescribe the time to address each point. When the time to address an agenda point is specified, that point is called an order of the day. Orders of the day take precedence over all other agenda points. All points that are not scheduled to be addressed at a specified meeting or time are typically listed in the agenda as J1 onwards. They are discussed in the order they come up, starting from the J1 until they have all been addressed and resolved. The agenda has to be approved by the GA at its first meeting, so today. The quorum is the minimum number of all active AVSAMOs that must be present for the GA to be able to make any decisions. Currently, the quorum is 40% and must always be maintained during the GA, otherwise no vote can be taken. For this reason, once the GA starts, delegates cannot leave the meeting area, unless it's a recess. To determine the quorum, the Secretary General calls out loud the names of the MOs and asks them to confirm their presence. So, how are these decisions made? This is one of the most important parts. It all begins with a motion. A motion is a formal proposal made by any delegate and submitted to the GA. Any motion is valid as long as it follows the Robert's Rules of Order, the bylaws, and the Constitution. Only one motion can be discussed at a time, and there can be no vote unless there is a motion on the floor. After a motion has been voted on, it's not possible to make any other identical or almost identical motion during the same session of the GA. So, how do you make a motion? The first step is to obtain the floor. To do so, you have to raise your hand and wait for the chair to recognize you. After that, stand up and identify yourself by clearly stating in the microphone your full name, your member organization, and your bidding number, which is what I forgot to do when I started this presentation. Now you can make your motion beginning with I move that or I move to, followed by the proposed action. If you don't remember the formula, you can just think of the song I Like to Move It, and you will remember. To be discussed, most motions require support from at least one other delegate. Anyone can support a motion by simply shouting second after it has been proposed. Once a motion has been made, the chair must entertain it, which means they recognize it as valid. To do so, they have to restate the motion to the assembly, ensuring everyone understands it. Then they open debate, allowing delegates to discuss the motion. The chair must ensure that everybody has had the chance to share their opinion. When the debate has concluded, the chair will call for a vote on the motion currently on the floor. So, let's see an example to make it easier for you to understand. So we have this guy here who raises the hands. The chair recognized them. The chair is like, John Doe, you may speak. John Doe, I can say Belgium, bidding number 32. I move to make a round of applause for our amazing organizing committee. There is a second from the GA, so it means that the GA supports this motion. The chair restates the motion and goes like, the motion on the floor is to make a round of applause for he or she. Is there any discussion? So the chair opens discussion on the motion on the floor. There is another girl who raises her hand. The chair recognizes her and goes, Jane Ross, you may speak. Jane Ross, I will say Ruritania, bidding number 87. The LC has been incredible, so I agree they deserve some love and appreciation. Thank you, Jane. Is there any other discussion? So the chair ensures that the discussion, that everyone who wanted to speak has had the chance to speak. Nobody speaks, so is there any objection? Seeing no, the motion passes and the GA can now clap for the OC. So this is how it works. The chair cannot make motions. However, they can let the GA know that they would accept a particular motion by saying, for example, the chair will entertain a motion too. Any member can then request the floor and move that motion by saying, I so move. So let's see another example. The chair will now entertain a motion to go into recess. Someone from the GA raises their hand. The chair recognizes them, and the delegate goes like, John Doe, or Isabel, blah, blah, blah. I so move. There is a second. And so now the motion has been placed before the GA. So the motion on the floor is to go into recess. Easy, right? I hope so. So the term debate refers to discussing the merits of a pending motion. With few exceptions, delegates may not speak unless recognized and given the floor by the chair. The person who proposed the motion under consideration has the right to speak before other members. To discuss a motion again, a delegate who has already spoken on it must wait until all other members who wish to discuss that motion have had the chance to do so. When a delegate has the floor, their intervention must be relevant to the topic under discussion. Delegates are not allowed to engage in direct discussion with each other. When speaking, delegates must always address the chair and refrain from directly addressing other members using their names, referring to them as the previous speaker. The chair should be addressed in the third person as the chair. Finally, delegates must always be respectful to one another. The J is a place of safe discussion, and nobody should act in a way that would make others uncomfortable or discourage them from speaking their mind. So, there are two classes of motions. There are main motions, which propose new business to the GA and can only be made and discussed when there is no other motion on the floor. Secondary motions generally arise from and apply to another motion. Therefore, they can be made and discussed even while there is other business. Some secondary motions are used to modify, delay, or dispose of another motion. For example, we have the motion to amend. A motion can be amended to change the wording, to remove or add anything to it. An amendment can be amended itself, but an amendment of an amendment cannot be further amended. We have the motion to limit debates, which is used to set a limit to the duration and number of interventions that can be made during a debate. The previous question is a motion is moved to end all debates and bring to a vote on the pending motion. So if the motion if the debate is going in circles, someone can move the previous question to end the debate. Then we have the motions to table and to postpone to a certain time. These are similar motions are used to postpone the consideration of a motion or an agenda point to a later time during the same session. The main difference is that when a motion is tabled, the time to resume it is not specified. Then we have to postpone indefinitely, which is to completely remove a motion from the consideration of the GA, killing it without having to vote on it. It is useful when the motion on the floor is poorly chosen and neither adopting nor rejecting it is in the best interest of the GA. Other secondary motions allow the GA to deal with important and urgent issues or requests without delay. They take precedence over other businesses and don't require any debate. These motions are to go into recess, to stand at ease, and to adjourn. They allow the assembly to interrupt or terminate its proceedings. We have point of privilege, which is raised to introduce a request or a motion addressing urgent matters related to the rights or safety of the GA or the comfort of its members, such as noise, room temperature, lighting, ventilation, and other disturbances. Specific points of privilege can be efficiently communicated without interrupting the proceedings using a colored card system. You can find this colored card on the delegates drive, so you can just raise them on your phone. If a delegate thinks that the speaker is talking too fast and wants them to slow down, they can raise a yellow card. Similarly, delegates can show an orange card if they want them to speak louder. Finally, if the discussion is confusing and challenging to follow, delegates can raise a blue card to ask the chair to summarize what's happening. Some secondary motions are raised to address issues that require immediate attention and resolution before the GA can continue. They are undebatable and delegates can make them without being recognized by the chair, even if it interrupts others temporarily. These motions are, for example, point of order, which is made when someone notices a violation of the rules and wants to request their enforcement. When delegates notice a serious breach in the rules, they can just stand up and say point of order out loud, but they must do it promptly, addressing the issue when it occurs. However, we encourage you not to do it unless you're absolutely certain that the rules is being broken, because we also have the parliamentarian who is in charge of making sure that the rules are being followed. We have a parliamentary inquiry is also another motion, which is made to obtain information about the Robert's Rules of Order, the bylaws, and the Constitution while safe. So if If you have doubts about them, you can request a parliamentary inquiry. The parliamentarian or the chair will answer to your question. Then we have point of information, which is a question directed to the chair or through the chair to another delegate to obtain information not related to J procedures or other abusive rules. The motion to withdraw can be done to withdraw another motion without a vote by the person who originally made it before the chair entertains it. After the motion has been stated by the chair, it can only be withdrawn without the approval of the chair. Finally, some secondary motions are used to bring back again other motions under the condition of the GA. These motions are to untable, which has the purpose of bringing back a motion that was previously tabled, together with any pending secondary motions that might adhere to it. To reconsider is used to review and potentially reverse the outcome of a vote. It allows the GA to reopen the discussion on a motion that has been voted on during the current or the previous meeting of the GA, but not on older motions. So what about voting? The IBSA uses an MO-based voting system, which with each active member organization getting 2 votes on any pending questions or positions to be voted on. Delegates from each MO must come to an agreement between themselves as to how they want to cast their 2 votes. At the beginning of every session of the GA, active MOs must select 1 delegate who will say the votes of their country. So I hope you have chosen that delegate or you will do it soon. When voting on a motion, MOs can vote in favor or against it. However, when it comes to elections, MOs can express their preferences for different candidates but cannot vote against a candidate. MOs can cast their 2 votes differently on the same matter and make a split vote. For example, casting 1 vote in favor and 1 vote against a motion. MOs can also abstain from casting a vote for various reasons like lack of strong opinion, a desire to remain neutral, or a conflict of interest. Abstentions are not included in the vote count as they are subtracted from the total number of votes. Therefore, abstaining from voting and voting against are not the same thing. There are several methods used to vote on a motion. Unanimous consent is one of them. So if the chair anticipates no opposition to a motion, they may ask whether anyone objects to it. If there is no objection, the motion passes through unanimous consent. Then there is card raising vote, which is the standard method of voting a motion in ISA, using colored voting cards. The voting delegates from each active MO will receive 2 green, 2 red, and 2 white cards. These allow MOs to either vote in favor with the green card, against with the red, or abstain with the white card or no card raised, or a combination of them. These cards are also provided in digital form in the delegate drive. So here you can see a combination of how you can vote using card raising vote. Yeah, I will already mention that. So then we have the roll call voting, which is during a roll call vote, each MO is asked to state their 2 votes out loud when the secretary calls their name. It is used if the GA has a divided opinion on a motion, if a simple majority is not enough, or if the GA requests it. Secret ballot is used when confidentiality is required or desired. Each MO receives 2 separate identical ballots to cast their 2 votes. Although this is not a common practice to vote on motion, it is the only method used to vote during the elections. There are 2 different voting systems used for the elections by secret ballot. We have the optional preferential voting. This voting system is used where only 1 candidate is to be elected for a position. Instead of just voting for a single person, voters can rank the nominees in order of preference. If a candidate receives an outright majority, they are declared the winner. If no candidate has a majority, the one with the fewest first preferences is eliminated, and the votes for the first eliminated person are then redistributed to the remaining nominees based on the number of second preferences indicated on those ballots. This process is repeated until one candidate has a majority of votes. Then we have plurality at large, which is used for bodies where more than one candidate is to be elected, like the trust and the secretariat. In the ballot, and most may vote for as many candidates as the number of seats to be filled or less. The candidates with the most votes win the seats, and the majority is not required in this case. All decisions of the GA must be reached by a simple majority of those present and voting unless otherwise specified. The majority of a GA is over half of the votes cast by active and most present, with the exclusion of abstentions. There are, however, some circumstances that represent an exception. For example, amendment of the bylaws and constitution may only be made with a 3/4 majority. Nominations for the IBC officials and hosts for the Congress or Symposium 1.5 years from the current event are opened at the beginning of each meeting in the first half of the J session. Nominations for the Congress or Symposium 2 years from the current event are open at the beginning of each meeting until the end of the session. Delegates can nominate any IBC member for a position, whether they're present or not, but cannot nominate themselves. To nominate someone, it is necessary to obtain the floor, identify yourself, and then say the full name and the member organization of the person you're nominating. The nominated person then has to accept or refuse the nomination. If the nominated person is absent, another delegate must accept the nomination on their behalf. Members can only accept one nomination for any IBC official position at a time. So, is everything clear? I know that right now this is a lot of information, but when the GA will start and you will see this mechanism in action, everything will start to make sense. But if you have questions, please ask them now. This is the moment to do that. Is there any questions?
Right, so no questions. Seeing none, thank you very much, Matteo. And I would say let's test your knowledge and see what you've learned so far. The chair will entertain a motion to give a round of applause for Matteo for explaining you the rules for the GA.
Mason.
Thank you. Wait for the microphone.
Me Susanna Lamsidi, IBC Morocco, bidder number 49, ISO move.
The motion on the floor is to give a round of applause for Matteo for explaining you the GA rules. Is there any discussion? Any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. You can give a round of applause. All right. We will now come to the next point of order in the GA agenda, which is roll call of member organizations. And I will pass this to our Secretary General, Isha.
Isha Acharya, IBS India, building number 11. Okay, so I will be a Secretary General for this Congress, and I will be announcing the name of the MO. If the MO is present, all of the present members, please stand up and say welcome to Taiwan in your own language. Okay? So, IBS Austria, IBS Belgium, IBS Bosnia and Herzegovina, IBS Bulgaria, IBS China, IBS Colombia, IBS Cyprus, IBS Czech Republic, IBS Denmark, IBS Estonia, IBSA Finland, IBSA Germany,
Have you come off Taiwan?
IBSA Ghana, IBSA Greece,
Culture to this Taiwan.
IBSA Guatemala, IBSA Hungary,
Üdvözöljünk Tajvánba!
IBSA India,
ताइवान में आपका स्वागत है।
IBSA Indonesia, IBSA Italy, IBSA Japan, IBSA Republic of Korea, IBSA Latvia,
Sveicināti Taivānā.
IBSA Malaysia,
Selamat datang ke Taiwan.
IBSA Mexico, IBSA Morocco,
Marhaba bikum Taiwan.
IBSA Nepal, IBSA Netherlands, IBSA Nigeria, IBSA Norway, IBSA Pakistan, IBSA Peru,
Bienvenidos a Taiwán.
IBSA Philippines,
Maligayang pagdating sa Taiwan.
IBSA Poland,
Witam na Tajwanie.
IBSA Portugal, IBSA Romania, IBSA Senegal, IBSA Serbia,
Dobrodošli na Tajvan.
IBSA Slovenia, IBSA South Africa, IBSA Spain, IBSA Sweden, IBSA Switzerland, IBSA Taiwan,
欢迎来到台湾。
IBSA Turkey,
Taiwan'a hoş geldiniz.
IBSA Ukraine, IBSA United Kingdom. Yeah, IBSA United Kingdom, IBSA USA, and IBSA Venezuela. Okay, we have 41.67%, so we have done.
Thank you very much, Ishan. At this point, the chair would like to acknowledge the presence of IBSA Chile as a candidate MO. To quickly explain, within IBSA, we have most active candidate MOs. So active candidate MOs are MOs that can participate, can be part of the discussion, but do not have voting rights until they have attended a full session of the General Assembly. So that's why IBSA Chile was not listed in the forum, but IBSA Chile can gain voting rights at the end of this event. So just to explain. Thank you very much. And another point, as you have heard, we have 41% quorum. So we need 40% to be eligible to vote. So that means for the GAs, we need every MO here. Like you all have to be here. If you're sick and you really can't come to the GA, please let us know in advance so we can adjust the agenda to points where we do not have to vote, but we need to know as soon as possible. So in the morning when you know you're too sick to come to the General Assembly, please inform us. Being hungover is no excuse to not come to the GA. Just say. All right, so we're gonna proceed with the agenda. And the next part of the agenda is the election of the chair. So nominations for the position of chair are now open. Are there any nominations? Yes.
Ika Desai, IBSA India, bidding number 27. I nominate Matteo Carnaval of IBSA Alumni as chair.
Thank you, Matteo.
Matteo Carnevale, IBS alumni number 17, I accept the nomination.
Thank you very much. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none, congratulations, Matteo. You are the new chair of the General Assembly.
So, the next order of the day is election of the parliamentarian. Is there any nomination for parliamentarian?
Violeta Rivas, IBSA Deputy number 83. I would like to nominate Daria Bacha from IBSA Poland for the position of parliamentarian.
Daria, do you accept?
Daria Bacha, IBSA Poland, bidding number 8. I accept the nomination.
Is there any other nomination for the parliamentarian? Seeing none, Daria, congratulations, you are the parliamentarian. Next agenda point is election of the election committee. Is there any nomination for election committee? Yes, there.
Anna Živković, IBSA Serbia, bidding number 86. I would like to nominate Tammy Negron from IBSA ASCO to be a member of election committee.
Tammy, do you accept?
Tammy Negron, IBSA EXCO, bidding number 3. I accept.
Are there other nominations? Two hands there.
Ryan Square, IBSA India, bidding number 73. I would like to nominate Hemant Jong from IBSA Republic of Korea.
Haewon Jang, IBSA Republic of Korea, bidding number 41. I accept the nomination.
Other nominations?
Ika Desai, IBSA India, bidding number 27. I would like to nominate Peter Pedersen of IBSA Denmark.
Peter, do you accept?
Peter Nicholas, IBSA Denmark, bidding number 16. I accept.
Is there any other nominations? Seeing none, congratulations, you are now election committee. Next agenda point is the election of the financial auditors. Is there any nomination for financial auditors? Do you know what a financial auditor is? Agnish?
Agnish Gala, IBSA India, bidding number 36. What is the job of financial auditor?
Thank you, Agnish, for that question. I would, okay, Stavros.
Stavros Babachiotis, IBSA EXCO. Stavros Babachiotis, IBSA EXCO, bidding number 5. So the financial auditors are two members of IBSA, of any MO, that have the responsibility to check the preliminary financial report. So what is going to be presented here after the term of the current treasurer is ended. They have to see if everything is in accordance to the bookkeeping, if there's anything open that has to be discussed, or if anything has to be brought to the GA, where the financial report is to be approved. That would be in the next General Assembly after the Congress ends. And they do not have to be present. They just have to provide the General Assembly with the report, with their findings. And the whole process is done with cooperation with the current treasurer, or then to be post-treasurer. And if anyone has questions, can come up to me during the breaks. And the election doesn't have to happen until day 9, I think, until the end of the Congress.
Thank you, Cyrus. So, is there any nomination for financial auditors after this great explanation? This is a great way to learn about ISA and finances. If you like. Seeing no nominations, the nominations for financial auditors are now closed, and we can move to the next agenda point, which is amendments to and approval of the proposed agenda. So here is the agenda. Is there any amendments for the agenda? Avnish?
Avnishka, IBSA India bidding number 36. I have an amendment to the agenda. I move to have the agenda point 90 and 91 changed from GS6 to GS7.
These two ones, is that correct? So the motion on the floor is to move points number 90 and 91 from GA6 to J7. Is there any second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on moving these 2 points to J7? Avnish?
Avnishka, IBSA India bidding number 36. The reason I am proposing this amendment to the agenda is because GS6 is nominee day, and nominee day is when the speeches for all the IBS officials that are taking part in elections take place, which can go on for very long. That is why we would like to make sure that we only have that for that day and move this to another day so that we have time for everything in general.
Thank you, Avnish. Is there any other discussion on this motion? Any objection? Seeing no objections, points 90 and 91 are moved to J7. Is there any other discussion or motion on approving the agenda? Avnish?
Avnishka, IBSA India bidding number 36. I move to add an agenda point in GA1 number 8, giving speaking rights to all observers during the General Assembly.
Is there any second? Thank you. So the motion on the floor is to add agenda points number 8, which is giving both speaking rights to observers of the GA. Is there any discussion on this motion? Is there any objection? Then the agenda is amended. The agenda is amended and the point 8 will be added. Is there any other discussion or amendments on approving the agenda? Avnish?
Avnishka, IBSA India bidding number 36. I move to add agenda point number 9 to set the amount of limitation on debate.
Okay. So is there any second? Is there any discussion on this motion? Is there any objection? Seeing none, the agenda is amended and point number 9 will be added. Is there any other discussion or motion on approving the agenda? Avnish, we don't like this.
Avnishka, IBSA India bidding number 36. There is a amendment in the approval of minutes for the 73rd symposium in Morocco.
Which one is that?
Yeah, 18.
Okay, number 18 on J onwards.
Number 18, minutes of the 73rd IVSA Congress in Peru. That needs to be minutes of the 73rd Symposium in Morocco.
Is there any second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any, so the motion on the floor is to change the minutes of the 73rd IVSA Congress in Peru to minutes of the 73rd IVSA Symposium in Morocco. Is there any discussion? Avnish.
Avnish Gala, IVSA India Building number 36. The reason we are doing this is because this was a mistake overlooked by us officials, and that the minutes for the 73rd IVSA Congress in Peru have already been approved at the 73rd Symposium in Morocco. However, the minutes for the 73rd Symposium in Morocco were the ones to be approved at this event.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion on amending the agenda? Is there any objection? Seeing none, the motion passes and the agenda will be amended. Is there any other discussion or amendments on approving the agenda? I see no hands. Is there any objection on approving the agenda? Seeing none, the agenda is approved. So next agenda point is nomination for executive position, 2025-2026.
Out of order, we just amended the agenda, so we need to go back to the original agenda.
So the next agenda point is giving speaking rights to observer. The chair will now entertain a motion to give speaking rights to observers. Anyone? Yes, you can start.
Bert Makowska, IWS Latvia, bidding number 56, I so move.
Second.
Is there any discussion on giving speaking rights to observers? The motion on the floor is to give speaking rights to observers. Avnish?
Avnish Gala, IVSA India, building number 36. The reason we are doing this motion is giving speaking rights to observers is because only members of IVSA are allowed to take part in debate and take part in discussions during the General Assembly of IVSA. However, when we have guests, alumni, or any other faculty members attending the GA, and they need to be able to speak their opinions, that is what we give them speaking rights to observers as.
Thank you, Avnish. Is there any other discussion on giving observers the right to speak? Is there any objection? Seeing none, motion passes. Observers now have the right to speak during the GA. So the next agenda point is debate limitations. Avnish.
Avnish Gala, IVSA India, building number 36. I move to set the limitation on amount of times each delegate can intervene during the discussion of a motion, but limit each intervention to 2 minutes.
Second.
So the motion on the floor is to giving an unlimited number of times a delegate can speak during the discussion of a motion, but limiting each discussion to 2 minutes. Is there any discussion on this motion?
PNB Phillips Magazine, Denmark, number 16. This is mostly a question, but I seem to have heard the chair say that this was to limit the discussion to 2 minutes and not the interjections.
Can you repeat the last part?
Yes, I think the chair, in repeating the motion supported by the previous delegate, misrepeated and said that it was to limit the discussion to 2 minutes and not the interjections to the discussions to 2 minutes.
Yes, each discussion, from each time a delegate raises their hand to discuss on a motion, they have limited their discussion to 2 minutes. So is there any other discussion on this motion? Agnish?
National IBS India bidding number 36. To clarify why this motion was made is that whenever there's a discussion going on with regards to any presentation has been put forward, there is a chance that a speaker, like a person, speaker asking a question may ramble on and take too much time of the GA. That is why we set the amount of time to 2 minutes, so that whenever you get the mic, you have 2 minutes to bring out your point and be concise with it. However, you are allowed to speak again if there's a discussion going on, or if someone has a direct comment for you, or the chair has a direct comment or question for you.
Thank you, Agnish. Is there any other discussion on this motion? Is there any objection? Seeing no objection, motion passes. So now each delegate has the right to to speak on a motion as many times as they want, but they have to limit their discussion to 2 minutes each time. I hope it's clear. So, next agenda point is nomination for executive position, 2025-2026. The chair will now entertain a motion to stand at least for 5 minutes. Is it okay? You don't have to? Okay. Okay. Then, is there any nomination for executive position 2025-2026? Is it clear what executive position means?
No.
So we are opening the nominations for the executive committee of IBSA for the term 2025-2026, which means the member of the EXCO, which are the not president, sorry, the Secretary General, MOD, all these kind of positions, Treasurer, these are the nominations that we're now opening. So is there any nominations for member of the Executive Committee 2025-26? Violet.
Bidding number 83. I would like to nominate Tanji Chu from IBSA Malaysia for the position of Secretary General.
Tanji Chu, do you accept?
Brian Kim, IBSA Republic of Korea, bidding number 43. I accept on his behalf.
Thank you. Is there any other nomination for positions in the Executive Committee 2025-2026?
Brian Kim, IBSA Republic of Korea, bidding number 43. I nominate Raisi Kara of IBSA India as MOD.
Yes.
Ryan Square, IBSA India, bidding number 73. I accept.
So we have 2 nominations so far. Is there any other nominations for the position of for positions in the Executive Committee? Seeing none, nominations for a position in the Executive Committee are now closed and will reopen at GA2. Next agenda point is nominations for chairs of standing committee and candidate committees or networks for 2024, 2025, 2026. Is there any nominations for chairs of standing committee and candidate committees and networks for 2025-26? Violet.
Violeta Libebos Garcia, bidding number 83. I would like to nominate, Violeta Libebos Garcia, bidding number 83. I would like to nominate Prakriti Chaudhary from IBSA Nepal for the role of chair of the IBSA Pathology Network.
Thank you. Is there anyone to accept the nomination? None.
Abdullah Raji, IBSA India, bidding number 68. I accept.
So, is there any other nominations for chairs? Over there? Yes. Sorry, it's a bit impossible for me to remember everyone's name, so.
Beat Petrakowska, IBSA Latvia, bidding number 56. I would like to nominate Ebenezer Efa from IBSA Ghana for the position of chair of the Wild and Exotic Animal Network.
Thank you. Is there anyone to accept on their behalf? Anyone? John.
John, IBSA co-bidding number 6. I accept on his behalf.
Thank you. Is there any other nominations for chairs? Yes.
Benadi Monsef is IBSA Morocco by the number 89. I move I nominate Deepa Shrestha from IBSA India for the position of Scooby chair. Nepal, sorry.
Thank you. Is there anyone to accept? Yes, over there.
Anna Živković, IBSA Serbia, bidding number 86. I accept on his behalf.
Thank you. Is there any other nominations for chair? No nominations? Right. Seeing no other nominations, they are now closed and they will reopen at GA2. Next agenda point is nominations for regional representative 2025-2026. Is there any nomination for regional representative 25-26? Yes.
Christos Kyritsis, IBSA Greece, bidding number 47. I would like to nominate Kamiaris Kanari, IBSA Greece, as a European representative.
Thank you. Is there anyone to accept? Yes.
Rebecca Biskamp, IBSA Hungary, bidding number 12. I accept on his behalf. 12.
Any other nomination for regional representatives? Violet? Oh, okay, there. No, it's okay from Serbia. I'm recognizing the.
Violeta Libebos Garcia, bidding number 83. I would like to nominate Florian Schilling from IBSA Germany for European Regional Representative.
Thank you. Is there anyone to accept? Yes.
Emanuel Ringbag, IBSA Denmark, bidding number 7. I'd like to accept on his behalf.
Thank you. Any other nominations for regional representative?
Anna Živković, IBSA Serbia, bidding number 86. I would like to nominate Mehdi Monset from IBSA Morocco for regional representative of MENA region.
Thank you. Monset?
Monse Ben Hadi, IVSA Morocco by the number 89, I accept.
Is there any other nominations? We have 5 regions. We need 5 region representatives. So don't be shy. Any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations for regional representative 2025-2026 are now closed and will reopen at GA2. Next agenda point is nomination for Secretariat 2025-2026. Is there any nomination? Yes, over there.
Municipal IBC Denmark being number 53, I nominate Ömer for Deren from IBC Bursa.
May you repeat the member organization of this person?
IBC Turkey. Sorry.
Is there anyone to accept the nomination? Yes.
Brian Kim, IBC Republic of Korea, bidding number 43, I accept on this one.
Thank you. Is there any other nomination, Avnish?
I have a Amizala IBC India wedding number 36 parliamentary inquiry. Until when are all these nominations open? Are they open for all the entirety of the event?
Thank you. So, should I answer or do I? Okay. So, as mentioned during the presentation, all the nominations for the IBC officials will remain open more or less until the half of the J, which is GA5. So until GA5, we will open the nominations every day. These are going to be the first agenda points for every GA until GA5. After that, we will close nominations and it will not be possible anymore to nominate anyone. The only nominations that will remain open until the end of the event are the nominations for the next event 2 years from now, which is Congress, I would say Congress 2027. Is it clear, Avnish? Thank you. Is there any other nominations for the Secretariat? Do we know what the Secretariat is? So, Felix?
Felix Metzger, ISA Exco being number 69. Secretariat are part of the officials, and those are 12 people that are basically split up on each Exco member, and they have their bags. So basically, each Exco member has a certain amount of secretaries, and they're delegating tasks to them. And without the secretaries, the association would not function. And we love our secretaries because they do so much work. So yeah, secretaries are basically doing the tasks that Exco is telling them to do, or they're helping with like certain scorings and other parts, or like at the events, like right now, being your buddies and so on and so on. So yeah, if you have more questions about a secretary position, how it works and so on, you can approach the officials at any time during the event and we can tell you more about it.
Thank you.
Or the secretaries themselves.
Thank you, Felix. With this in mind, is there any nomination for the Secretariat? Seeing no nomination, they are nominations. Seeing no nominations, nominations are now closed and will reopen at GA2. Next agenda point is nomination for Trust 2025-2026. Is there any nomination? Yes.
Anjami, ISA Taiwan, being number 4, I nominate Valeria Ximena Chavez Padilla, IBSA Peru to become president.
Thank you. Is there anyone to accept the nomination? Yes.
Nations in IMCD, IVSA Morocco, bidder number 49. I accept on behalf of her.
Thank you. any other nomination for the position of trust? In case you don't know, the trust is the collective body of trustees. Trustees are experienced members who have held a position in the IBC before and are there to support the other IBC officials with their knowledge and expertise. So with this in mind, is there any other is there any other nomination for the trust? Seeing no nominations are now closed and will reopen at J2. Next agenda point is nominations for the 75th IBC Symposium, 1.5 years from now. Is there any nominations for the 75th IBC Symposium? Seeing no nominations, the nominations are now closed and will reopen at J2. Next agenda point is nominations for the 76th IBC Congress, 2 years away. Is there any nomination for the 76th IBC Congress? Seeing no nominations, they are now closed and will reopen at next year. So, there are no more orders of today, so we will move on with the other points listed in J1 onwards. The next agenda point is approval of minutes of the 73rd IBC Symposium SGA in Morocco. The minutes were sent to all MOs in advance, so it's now time to approve them. Anyone who moves to approve?
Sanitary IBC India, bidding number 11.
Hello.
So these are the correct minutes. The 73rd IBC Symposium. Is there any motion to approve this? Sean?
Sanitary IBC India, bidding number 11. These minutes were made by Hitesh Chauhan, who is Secretary General of IBC Global. They were sent out a while ago on your emails. I trust that all of you have had the time to go through them, and now it is the time to approve them. So I move to approve the minutes of the 73rd IBC Symposium in Morocco.
Second.
Thank you, Sean. So the motion on the floor right now is to approve the minutes of the 73rd IBC Symposium in Morocco. Is there any discussion on approving these minutes? Any objection? Seeing none, minutes are approved. So the next agenda point is update of the IBC activities. The first one is the president update. So we have Felix. Let's give it a round of applause for Felix.
All right. Actually, can I have one of the other mics, because this is like. All right. Thank you. Can you hear me? Yes. Amazing. All right.
Hi everyone, Felix Metzger, IVSA Exco, bid number 69. As president, I'm giving you the president updates. Surprise! I'm super happy about it. That's me. I'm the current president. And this is my team, all IVSA officials. I'm super thankful to them. I think I mentioned it before, but I could mention it the whole day. All of these people have done an incredible job this year. And I can't tell you how much I love them for what they've done. Like, this amount of support is like not granted, and I'm super happy about it. And I am so excited to present you what's happened on the president's side. So here is like a summary of my daily life of a president, like unread emails and annoying exco with MOUs. So it's a lot of fun. But there are also some projects. And as president, of course, my job is to observe the whole association, like keep in touch with everyone, check in on everyone, also answer private emails. If any of you have any questions, you're texting me, and I try to answer them as fast as possible. But there are also some president-specific projects, mainly focusing on partners. So what I did, or like one of my visions was at the start of the term is to change some things on the structure, and at this point again, thanks to the team for supporting me with that. So we changed our meeting structure. We are having more exco meetings, therefore they are a bit shorter, and we can meet up more regularly, which allowed us to have more regular discussions to deal with problems, which I found very helpful. We also work very hard on our guidelines, overall update of various guidelines in Drive folders to make sure they're updated and accurate. We have been working on website adjustments, which is still ongoing. I will talk a bit more about it like later. And we really tried to have like a higher partner attendance at our events. Throughout the event, you will see multiple presentations by partners. I mean, it already started in the morning with the opening ceremony speech by Gustava, which is super nice because we like our partners, we want to promote them as they promote us. So stay tuned. We also try to have more regular meetings with the partners for better collaborations. In the past, we were meeting more occasionally, like if something was coming up. This term really said, okay, every 3 months we want to have a meeting, we want to check in on things, and we want to give some updates about what's going on, which helped a lot. And also in Peru last year, we approved our strategic plan for IVSA that is valid for the next 5 years. And we have also been like checking in on that regularly and trying to come up with the requested tasks. So here's an overview of our partners. On the left side, you can see all the partners that we already had before. On the right side, you can see some new partners. Well, VetPD is technically not a new partner. However, the communication was very silent, and we started it again, which is really great because they're providing a lot of cool opportunities for students. We have a new MOU signed with the Veterinary Information Network, VIN. So VIN is now an official partner of IVSA. I will tell you a bit more about it later. We have an agreement now with VetShow and with EBDS. So, developing partnerships. What happened? First of all, I mentioned it before in the IVSA presentation. We, like one of our partners, decided to not collaborate with IVSA anymore, which is AVMA and SAVMA. So to explain to you what happened, SAVMA, as the student body of AVMA, was unhappy about IVSA events and how they're running. And during their meeting, during their GA as an association, a motion was brought up to end the partnership with IVSA, which was approved. After that, as a result, AVMA decided to end the partnership with IVSA as well. Of course, we tried to have talks with them to discuss and to find a way to make this undone. However, those requests were declined, so we are no longer partners at the moment. Then, besides that, we had some plans to update some ongoing older partnerships: ADE Foundation, Global Food Partners, FABA, and IFMSA. So FABA is the Federation of Asian Veterinary Associations, and IFMSA is basically the IVSA formal in human medicine. With those partners, we reached out to them. We either did not get a response or got a response quite late in the term, which is why there are no proper updates, but we are working on it, which will be a project for the next term, for the next president, so the case Tammy. We have also some potential new partnerships with which the communication is quite advanced, but still not decided, which is WAFMA, the World Association for Aquatic Veterinary Medical Associations, Veterinarians for Climate Action, and Worldwide Vets. Memorandums of Understanding. So now we would like to talk about all MOUs that have been signed with new partners. First off, VetShow. What is VetShow? VetShow is basically an association that is providing veterinary congresses around the world. And we signed an agreement that from now on, all IVSA members, on top of the already existing 10% student discount, as an IVSA member, you get another 10% discount if you're attending their events. We will, in the upcoming months, promote those events like on the website and available opportunities and via email. So if you're interested to go to a VetShow Congress and you're unsure how to use the discount code, please reach out to us. We are more than happy to help you, and VetShow is as well. The next one, EBVS. EBVS stands for the European Board of Veterinary Specialization, and they are, like as mentioned, like the European Board of Veterinary Specialization. So they are basically the umbrella association taking care of all specialization boards in Europe. So, for example, pathology, neurology, and so on. And we now set up a partnership that is, we're now mainly focusing on the Euro region to provide information, especially to those countries in which veterinary specialization, high-level veterinary specialization is not a thing yet, or like not as much promoted, to give you information and to give you contact information on how you can become a veterinary specialist, because this has been a problem in the past. Then, EAEVE. So EAEVE is the European Association for Establishments for Veterinary Education. Super important association because they are going around the world and checking the standards of universities, and having the EAEVE approval as a university makes sure that like students that finish their studies there can be accredited, for example, in Europe, also in other states with this accreditation. So this is super important for universities to have, and our MOU was running out, and we renewed it for another 2 years, which is amazing, because as an IVSA member, you have the opportunity now with this agreement to join EAEVE visitations. So you can apply and you can go to universities, join the visitations, evaluate them, and we're also currently working on giving the students, say, more value. In the upcoming autumn, we will have another discussion to make sure that more things are asked for to universities, like what is the support for student associations? How are students involved in what's going on? And furthermore. So we are super happy about this renewed partnership to be able to continue with them. Also, being able to partner with them is very important for our outward appearance as IVSA. And last but not least, VIN, the Veterinary Information Network. If you haven't checked out VIN, you should really do it, because as students you can sign up for free, and VIN is basically this big of a database of veterinary knowledge. So it's really worth it by being a student, because like as I mentioned, you don't have to pay anything, and it's super helpful. They also have like 3D anatomy lessons there, and also a program in which you can simulate being a vet in a game and other things. There's also like a forum where you can interact with other veterinary students and veterinarians. Also, when you sign up, you get a veterinarian assigned to you that is supporting you with all your questions. So it's quite easy to handle, and we want to promote it. Also, it's helping us as IVSA, because in the past, when we were trying to get speakers, it often resulted in us like reaching out to multiple professors, teachers, and so on. So with VIN, we now have like a network where we can ask, hey, we need a speaker for a certain topic, and they can help us, which will hopefully make processes in the future easier for IVSA. Upcoming signings. Here you can see IPSF and IAS. So basically the pharmaceutical pronoun to IVSA and the agricultural pronoun to IVSA. We have the MOUs on our table. However, they're not approved yet. So we cannot say we signed them. However, it's very, very likely to happen. And we are currently working on it as IVSA Exco. And this is something I'm super happy about, update on our membership in ECOSOC. So ECOSOC is basically a part of the United Nations, to say it in a simple way. And as IVSA, as an NGO, we can be part of that. The problem was that during this term, we identified that we did not update ECOSOC about what we're doing as an association for the last 2 years. So the last 2 years, no one was doing it. So we heard about that, and we submitted a new report to basically save our consultative status, which was quite a lot of work because it was basically a very long report about the years 2019 until 2022, which we explained how IVSA is actually supporting the goals of the United Nations, which is a huge thing as an association. And the good thing is we got our status back. We are still part of ECOSOC, which is amazing for all our future approaches with WHO, WOA, FAO, and so on. So this is something super exciting. And looking at your faces, you seem like you can't share this excitement, but I can tell you, this is so important for our association. When I'm getting actually goosebumps because I'm so happy about it. But it's okay to be less excited than me. I'm getting easily excited as well. All right. So, as mentioned, we also had like a lot of owner partners on the left side of the presentation. And of course, with them, we've also been talking and about things we want to change in the future. For example, with FE, the Federation of Veterinarians of Europe, we want to better promote the FE materials and to highlight them more. For example, we have a joint initiative with FE, which is called VetJoy. At VetJoy, all of you can apply for a mentor-mentee project. And you would think, of course, like mentor-mentee, like a lot of students applying to get a mentor because it's a super demanded thing. No, there are like barely students applying, so do so, just apply. It's happening online, you can just get a mentor, it's amazing. Also, there are other opportunities. You can, for example, become like a diversity and inclusivity ambassador for them, educating like young, like in schools, educating young people about veterinary medicine. It's awesome. So please check it out. If you have questions, please come to me. I can tell you about the whole thing. Also, we want to have a closer collaboration with EVERY and UEP. Those are two subgroups of FE focusing on with EVERY about like veterinarians in education, research, and industry, and UEP focusing on veterinary practitioners. I will tell you a bit more about it when we are coming to the event attendance presentations, so stay tuned. ECOSOC, I just mentioned it, our consultative status is back, which is amazing, and we really want to explore our opportunities now, since we can. So let's use it. VetShow, just mentioned it, so we're going to spread that information. EVE, new MOU, so also mentioned that. WOA, the World Organization for Animal Health. I hope all of you know what WOA is because it's like the biggest association, like updating about animal diseases in the world, and it's also part of the quadripartite of the United Nations. So it's a super important association. The problem this term was that our two contact persons, like the first one was part of WOA until October, and then left the association. No one told us. So we were writing emails and emails and emails, and no one was responding. The second contact person that we got after a while, super nice, left this association in April. So again, we were writing emails and emails and emails, and at some point no one was responding. But in Paris, we found a new contact person at the WOA event itself, super responsive, also seems like he will stay in the association for a while. So this is back, and we are really hoping to set up an MOU now with some amazing opportunities for you students. Basala. We had the Basala representative like here in the morning, and she will also give a 20-minute presentation tomorrow about Basala, so I don't want to say too much. But with Basala, we have the volunteer coordinator program for the next 2 years again. So at the Basala Congress in Rio, like you were able to apply to become a volunteer there. Also, next year the Basala event will be in Poland, so you can apply for that again as well. So stay excited. Also, we want to create more signature collaborations with Basala because Basala is such a big association and we have like a good communication, but we don't have that many signature projects where we can actually say, okay, as a student, you can directly join and get something out of it. And like they're super happy about, like they're super excited about IVSA, and that's what we're working on to create more opportunities for them. VetPD, just mentioned it, we want to promote their stuff more because it's amazing. It's basically training courses and so on, and for students you can get discounts, so if you don't know about it, like we want to promote it more. IAS and IPSF, it's just important for us to collaborate with other student associations, especially from different professions, because especially in the One Health context, it's really important that we interact, we work on our projects. Also, IPSF and IAS have access to really big events. For example, IPSF to the WHO General Assembly, or IAS to COP29. So, or like the COP events as a whole. So we really hope to get something out of that, which is amazing. And WVA, the WVA president will actually join us during this event. So we'll see him at the second half of the event. Again, we want to increase our collaboration points because they're also like, I say a lot, but we don't have that many signature projects besides like working groups or like policy papers. And we're really also considering like involving the alumni network more. So we can establish a bigger network for young professionals, also in collaboration with WVA. So once you graduate and you still have this IVSA spark in you, you can still get engaged. So this is what we're working on. As you notice, like I'm super excited about it. Partners are amazing. So besides our partners, we have other collaborations. So for example, we joined the Parasite Awareness Day. We joined WFPHA in their appeal to review nicotine as a drug, which is basically a paper to review nicotine, and as IVSA we joined to like support it, that this is further investigated. We joined the Veterinary Education Europe Initiative, which is basically an initiative to set up a congress to really discuss how education is ongoing in universities, like if it's going well or if it's not, and how to change it so it's going well. Unfortunately, the project so far did not get funding, so we're supporting it, but like it's not happening for now, but they will keep applying for funding, and once they get the funding, it can happen. VEE Inventory List Project. This is a project that's actually filling a gap that some of you might have not even known that's existing. There's no list so far in which you can find every single veterinary university in the world. So when you're like want to study veterinary medicine, you want to check out like, hey, where can I actually study? There are no such lists. Like you have like EVE, for example, like covering Europe, but when you're looking at on a global scale, there was nothing there. So there was one guy who said, okay, I want to do it, and he was asking other associations, like for example, also WVA, to join, and we as IVSA joined as well. So IVSA students around the world now are helping to get information about universities, to add it to the database, and once it's created and published, we can share it with all of you, and of course with the world, which is amazing. And we also applied as a member for the WHO AMR working group, and got accepted, which is amazing. However, we are right now waiting for because now we said, okay, yeah, we accept the acceptance, and now we are waiting to be officially accepted because they're not responding. Well, they're busy. Okay, besides all those partner things, what else do I have to tell you about as president? Executive sessions. So first of all, what's an executive session? As IVSA Global, like the IVSA officials, we have officials meetings, the EXCO meetings, which happen like in a regular time frame. This year we had it every 3 weeks on one day of the weekend. In those meetings, we discuss what's going on, like any updates, any struggles, and so on. And those meetings are publicly accessible. Like first of all, like for all officials, but also for you as members. So if you want to join, you can join as well. However, an executive session is a private meeting just within EXCO to discuss about a specific topic. And in the second half of the term, we just had one executive session on the 11th of May. And what happened there? There was a code of conduct situation during the European Symposium. You will hear more about that in the COC panel update during the GA. So we talked about that, and we had a talk about the performance of one official. And basically we talked about, okay, what are we doing anything? And we said, okay, it's fine for now, and that's what we discussed. And as mentioned, the decision regarding the code of conduct thing will be explained later. So the goals and those things are basically copy-paste from the Moroccan Symposium because nothing has changed. Like all officials have been working on these goals. Thank you guys. It has been so amazing to have so much support. We wanted to follow the strategic plan because in the past we had strategic plans, but we did not properly follow them. We tried to change that. You will get an update about that if it worked or not. So stay tuned. Then we wanted to keep and improve our partnerships. As you can see, old partners there, new partners on top. Like, okay, we lost 1, but we gained 4, which is good. So yeah, I see this as a win. Then we wanted to keep and improve our internal IVSA work environment. You know, like making it function better, like more efficiently. Also the whole, like, you know, like team building, team feeling. So we worked on that as well. Then updating all position guidelines. So there are officials positions, and you, like right now, you have the chance to run for those positions. And you know what's super annoying? Your first day in the office, and there's nothing. And you don't know what to do. So really try to work on that as well. Then we try to increase the interaction between IBSA Global and the member organizations to really make sure that our presidents and MOs meeting, for example, have been like really regularly. That we also like make sure that we write emails, that we respond effectively. Also that the regional reps are checking in on the MOs with one-on-one meetings, but we'll hear more about that during the MOD updates. We wanted to listen to you, and also this also counts for this event. We are doing this because we love the association and because we want to make sure you as IBSA students get the most out of it. So if you have something that really concerns you in IBSA, that you're unhappy about, or you have ideas, please come to us so we can work on that, especially Tommy with her new team officials who will vote for this at this event. And we want to make IBSA a little bit better. Like that's the goal of every president, just leave it in a better state than we found it. And well, I'm not the person to judge if this happened, but again, I'm just really thankful for this journey. And yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better team. So thank you all, and with the last few days of the term ahead, I finally believe voting is with us. Thank you all.
Thank you, Felix. Is there any questions for Felix? Is there any question for Felix? No questions. Thank you, Felix. We can move on to the next agenda point, which is Secretary General update, and this is also Felix.
Hi, it's me, Felix Metzger, IBSA Exco meeting number 69. I'm back for the next update. Secretary General. So, as mentioned, our Secretary General, Upendra Chauhan from IBSA Nepal, cannot be here today because he is having his final exams at this point. Good luck, Upendra. And also good luck to Sujan, who's having the exams as well. But more about it later in the CC update. So, I will give the update on behalf of Upendra. So, Secretary General update. What happened? First of all, we have Secretary General, and Secretary General, he's managing all the secretaries. So here is Upendra with his team, all our lovely secretaries, wonderful faces. And here's a quick outline about the update. So internal affairs, contact form submissions, and SPC projects for 24-25. So SPC means the strategic plan, in case some of you might be confused. Internal affairs, what happened? Creating and maintaining IBSA emails and groups on Google and Microsoft platforms. All the official MO emails that you have, all local chat emails, they all have to be managed, checked, that people log in, any problems with the password, so that happened. Assisting in email recovery by resetting passwords, updating phone numbers, and ensuring secure access, providing Canva access to the required officials. So sometimes you forget the password, so you need it back, so Ben Ryan's team has been helping with that as well. And also, all the officials have been using Canva for a lot of presentations, posts, and so on. So sometimes you also lose your access to that. So again, Pendra was there to help us. Collaborating with the president to organize and execute general assembly sessions. So before this, like Pendra and I, this time also like Tommy as president-elect, sat down. We're like, okay, what's like for the agenda? What do we need? Like, what are we discussing? What are we proposing? So this also happened, which is quite a lot of work. Updating IBSA bylaws according to approved bylaw amendments and updating the regular EXCO meetings on websites for open access to IBSA members. So during the event, we voted on bylaw amendments to adjust our bylaws, and once this is done, it needs to be updated everywhere. So again, SG stepping in, doing the job. And also, like the EXCO meetings, we're writing minutes about each meeting, what we discussed, and we are back to publishing them on the website, so you can actually follow them. Then the minuting the General Assembly, online EXCO meeting and EXCO session. We had 15 EXCO meetings so far, 2 GAs including Congress, and 1 executive session this term. Like it's actually 2 executive sessions this term, but this is referring to the last half, so that we just had 1. But yeah, like in total 15 EXCO meetings, like writing the minutes for each one, going through the recording again, adjusting it. So respect to the SG. Then, evaluation of officials for making a report card underway, soon to be available on the delegates drive. So, we, like within the officials team, we are also scoring each other based on our performance, and we are creating report cards based on that. So, given that some of the current officials will also run for positions again, we will provide you in the delegates drive during the event, but definitely before the elections, with those report cards. You can check them and see, like, to have like a better picture of the overall situation before voting for a specific person. Sending GA agenda and booklet to the delegates according to Taiwan's constitution. So you receive the agenda and the booklet, that's obvious. Create a poll to choose the best time for exco sessions, exco meetings, send out the agenda draft for adding agenda points and the final agenda and the previous meeting minutes for review and approval. So whenever we have an exco meeting or exco session, we have a poll, we decide when we're going to have it and so on, drafting an agenda, setting up the meeting link and so on and so on. And all this was done by the vendor. And of course, was special support by the secretary, Steve. Yeah, and of course, the reminder point of officials as well. It's true, like we really have to thank Upendra for constantly being on our back and like asking us, hey, did you upload this? Did you edit this? Is this done? So he's doing a great job there. So yeah, he really was a reminder point. Guess you forgot the IVSA common passport again this time. The passport reset competition IVSA edition. Next IVSA. I will not explain me. Just look at it. I think it's lovely and really good describing the situation. All right, one-on-one meeting with President. Having regular meetings with President to review the recent work, discuss on ongoing and future works. So regular meetings to discuss what's going on. Managing the events and meetings to ensure smooth preparation, to improve procedural and executive efficiency, and to review the progress and make a timeline of the projects. One-on-one meeting with secretariats. As Secretary General, Upendra was checking in on the secretaries and he had regular one-on-one meetings with 12 secretaries once every 2 months and making sure they feel involved within the exco team they are at. So he's like actively asking, hey, are you getting tasks? Is like your exco person like supporting you to make sure if this is not happening that we can also do not leave the secretaries alone. Working on the strategic Secretary General T projects with the strategic plan and regular feedbacks, positive and constructive comments to respective exco members to enhance the collaborative professional capacity. So Upendra was telling us when we were not doing as supposed to be. Contact form submissions, either through contact us at IVSA website or support email info@ivsa.org, replying to external mails submitted to the contact form. So like it always happens that like partners or specific persons that reach out to us, so Upendra is answering them, includes inquiries on IVSA memberships, partnerships, sponsorships, events invitation, and so on and so on. Also taking notes as a sponsor to this event, everything began from contact form submission, which is great. Redirecting them to the president and concerned excos or officials or keeping them in the loop. Minute taking an absolute necessity job. Again, some news. I think the right one is really accurate. Sean, if you haven't seen it. Ongoing SPC projects. So as mentioned, we want to follow the strategic plan. First one was the handover menu. So this menu is basically creating a guideline on how to write handover manuals and what should they include and how to regularly update them. We didn't have one, and it was part of the strategic plan, and it was created and currently under officials review. The second project is a report of AI applications in IVSA and potential applications of AI that we can use as an association. Given that AI is becoming more and more of a topic, and especially partner associations want to hear like the position of students about that. Like so, from us, it's really important that we work on the paper. It is way more work than expected, so it's still taking more time, but it's in progress. And also during the term, like we started the term with the approved officials after the elections in Peru. However, certain officials resigned. So we got like interim officials, and in order to like round up this process, we have to ask you SGA for approval of the interim officials. So official resignation, the Americas Regional Rep. Alessandra Pupo has resigned effective the 17th April 2025. Ignacio Salazar, IVSA Mexico, was then elected as interim, the Americas Regional Representative by Exco 2425. I move to approve Ignacio Salazar as the Americas Regional Representative.
Second.
The motion on the floor is to approve Ignacio Salazar as the American Regional Representative. Is there any discussion on this? Is there any objection? Seeing none, Ignacio Salazar is officially the ad interim Emeritus Regional Representative.
Next card is executive number 69. The next position, official termination. Ali Mashid, MENA Regional Representative, was terminated from official due to inactiveness despite follow-ups effective the 17th of April 2025. Mohammed Nabil El Habib, ISA Morocco, was then elected as interim MENA Regional Representative by Exco 2425. I move to approve Nabil El Habib as MENA Regional Representative.
Second.
So the motion on the floor is to approve Nabil El Habib as MENA Regional Representative. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, congratulations, Nabil.
Felix Metzger, ISA executive number 69. Official resignation, co-chair. Sanya Laril Keaton, co-chair, has resigned effective the 9th of March 2025. Nia Sunil, IBC India, was then elected as interim co-chair by Exco 2425. I move to approve Nia Sunil as co-chair.
So the motion on the floor is to approve Nia Sanghil as co-chair. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Seeing none, congratulations!
Acknowledgement. Felix Metzger, ISA Exco number 69. Acknowledgements. I want to sincerely thank our secretariat team, excos, officials for executing things efficiently, and every ISA member for your dedication and hard work. Your efforts are the backbone of our association, and together we continue to move ISA forward with purpose and unity. Thank you all. And today, these wonderful words, I can say this was the update from the Secretary General. Thank you very much.
Is there any questions for Felix and for independent through Felix? Seeing no questions. Yeah. So, according to the schedule, it's 6 p.m. So the chair will now entertain a motion to adjourn the current meeting of the General Assembly. Here.
Matthias Jagla, ISA Germany, I so move.
Second.
Bidding number 40. I so move.
Second.
So, the motion on the floor is to adjourn the current meeting of the GA. Is there any objection to it? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned and will reconvene tomorrow at the second meeting of the GA. Please don't leave because we currently have a few announcements before we continue. So, please listen up. So the first announcement is, as you now know, each country has to select one delegate to be the voting delegate of their member organization. The voting delegate has to be the same one throughout the whole day. So please select one voting delegate and make sure that this voting delegate has access to their official national member organization email address. Because all the voting procedures will, through ballots, will happen through the email. So you need access to that email address. This is very important. You need access, I repeat, to your official national MO email address. So if you don't have it, request it to the, the officials of your national member organization back in your country. And in case you will not be able to get these passwords and so have access to your official email address, let us know because the Secretary General will be able to reset the passwords for you. So please let us know if you struggle with logging in. Second announcement is please during when we move around the city, be very careful when crossing the road because sometimes cars and scooters go very fast. Sometimes they don't stop at red light, and also never cross the road when with the red light. Always wait for a green light to appear before crossing the road. It's very dangerous. Another announcement is please don't be scared to talk to officials. We are humans after all. We might seem very busy sometimes we're on our phone, but please approach us. We are just like you, and you are gonna be the next IVC officials. So don't be scared to approach us, to ask us questions, to laugh with us. We are just friends. Let's all be friends. Yes. So also memes are accepted, but as you could see, but please always be respectful when creating memes. And finally, follow us back on Instagram. And now I have some announcements. I'll see first from the organizer.
I'll be making some, I'll be making the daily announcement right now. So, yeah, first of all, I would like to congratulate all of you because you guys are all on time this morning. Not only on time, you guys were early this morning, so yeah. So I hope we can maintain this until the end of the Congress. Yeah. Okay, so for later, we will be leaving the school and heading to the hostel for the pre-cultural night. So basically for the pre-cultural night, you can bring all of the snacks or the food that you have prepared. And our team has set up the tables in the lobby, so you can just bring them down and wait for the cultural night to start at 8 o'clock. And a little bit briefing on tomorrow's schedule. Breakfast starts at 6:45. It's not that early tomorrow. And we will gather at the lobby at 7:30 and leave the hostel at 7:45. And tomorrow we basically have GA2 and another lecture in the afternoon. And then after that, you'll be going for the city tour in which you'll be moving in groups. Sorry, I think someone has a question.
It's just with regards to tonight culture evening.
Sorry? Okay. Okay, and tomorrow we'll be having a picnic for dinner. So if you have like mosquito repellent and an umbrella, please bring it with you tomorrow. And after the picnic, you guys can either choose to go back to the hostel to rest or head to the night market with your team members. So that's basically the schedule for tomorrow. And I also have a few reminders here. First is in Taiwan, we couldn't throw toilet paper into the toilet, so no toilet paper. And there will be a bin in every toilet. So this is one. And eating and drinking is not allowed in the MRT. And we should always keep our voices down as a sign of respect to the others. And we should also, like if you see any rubbish on the floor in the school compound, I would appreciate it if like you can just pick it up and throw it in the bin, because our team actually make a lot of effort to rent the classrooms here. So yeah, yeah, we need your help with that because we want to return the classrooms in like a very clean and comfortable state when we return it to school. And We'll be mainly using this building and the other building next door. I will also need your help to close the doors every time you enter and exit the building, because we have a few sensitive professors in this school and they don't like it when we open the doors wide. So I need your help to just close the doors so you can see that it's open. And now the last reminder. Oh wait, I already said that just now. Okay, the last reminder, I'll say it again. Because the weather in Taiwan is like a bit not stable these 2 days. It might rain and it's sometimes very hot. So bring an umbrella, and we'll be going to the park for a picnic. So you will need mosquito repellent. So bring it if you have it with you. So that's all from me.